I grew up in Corona, California before the '08 crash. We grew up in the center of the city. It was a very um, gang-filled area, but the people there were really nice. If you got to know them, and it was all right. Then I moved to a more rural area, and that's where I truly grew up as a person. I lived during the weeks in my brother's sofa here in El Centro, California, and then in the weekends I lived in my mother's house in Mexicali. So growing up with that was kind of interesting. When I found out I got into UCSD, I felt very privileged. Being in one of, especially my first choice, I had been here before in a summer internship, and I fell in love with the campus. It's amazing. And as a biochem major, I think there are very few other places where I'd rather be. Uh, Having the scholarship means that I actually have the opportunity to go to university. My parents do not work. One of them is retired. My mother is handicapped. So if I was going to come through here, I was going to do it with a lot of loans. So I'm really glad I got this scholarship. To anyone who wants to come here, I would say just do it. I know sometimes it's kind of scary to make that jump to believe that you're good enough for a school like this. Just go for it. It's just another school. If I can go back in time, I would say risk. I applied to 8 universities, but I didn't apply to others that I could have. I got accepted into the other 8. So whenever you're applying to college, I would say just risk yourself. Like I said, I'm glad I got in here, but if I didn't, I would have had more options. I want to study biochemistry here at UCSD, and eventually I want to be an MD. That's the goal. I want to get a bachelor's in science and then head off to med school and become the first doctor in my family. My dreams for the future is to help people in our community get into the sciences. I believe there's a really big cultural thing where science is not a huge thing or something that many of our children aspire to be, and I would like to be part of that movement that changes that culture. Besides that, I would love to work with Doctors Without Borders at least a year. If I do that, I would be happy. It's one of my life goals. The people that most helped me, there are 3. My mother, she always helped me. Even when she stopped working, she would always push me to push myself. The second would be a high school teacher, Mrs. Rueda. She was a doctor in Mexico and moved here to the United States and eventually became a teacher in order to take care of her sons. She really did push me to go for these things. During high school, I was a horrible student, but I made it up in community college, I want to say, thanks to her constantly pushing me. And the other one would be my local priest, Padre Alvaro. He also always saw the best in me, even though in many occasions it was really hidden. And he always reminded me what my goal was and where I was gonna go. I chose Revel because of that mentality, that Renaissance man mentality, a student of many things and a master of few. But getting a little bit out of everything, or getting a little bit of knowledge from every place is interesting. I'm very into science, but I also like political and historical majors and what they study. Coming here, I remember my mother came here with me on Trident Day, and I had never seen her be so proud of me or any of my other brothers that way. So I know it means a lot to them. It's a thing of pride, although I have to keep my feet on the ground because I still haven't accomplished anything. I'm barely starting.